To kind of give everybody a background out there of Tim, Tim Means is a local Albuquerque, New Mexico fighter. Been in the scene for quite some time now. I don't know for how long, though, so this is going to be kind of a cool conversation with you. I've only known you for a little while. Fresh off of 2 impressive wins in the Legacy Fighting Championship, Tim returns to a UFC Fight Night Saturday, May 10th, meeting Neil Magny. So how you feeling about going into this, man? Feeling fresh and whatnot?
Hey, no, I feel good, man. Coaching staff down at City HB with Tom Marlene and Coach JJ, they've really got me prepared well. You know, I've gotten to move up in weight my last 2 fights, so that's been a cool turnaround, you know, rather than me stressing about making weight right now and eating spinach and green leafy things. I'm getting to eat big, huge portions of food and 2-3 gallons of water, so, you know, I'm much happier now, walking around with a smile on my face rather than a frown. So, you know, I couldn't be happier with what FinHB's done right now. So, you know, let's go to Cincinnati and get another win down there. So, pretty stoked, but at the same time calm. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, you seem like a really calm guy and a cool guy. You know, you definitely have that air of confidence around you, but at the same time, you know, you're not like other fighters that I've met, you know, that are too cool for the room, so to speak, you know?
Right.
So this is your second outing at the UFC. How did it land in your lap this time? I mean, was it because of your 2 wins off at Legacy?
Yeah, I guess, you know, Pete Spratt was a veteran, you know, looking for a tough fight in Legacy, wanted to fight someone tough in his hometown, so I filled in for someone who got injured. And went over there and knocked Pete Spratt out pretty violently, left him out for like 5 minutes. And then Artenis Young, number 1 contender for Legacy, knocking on the door for the UFC in those guys' eyes. So, you know, I went and caught him real quick in the fight. And I was on my way to Ray Borg's fight for the Legacy fights that were here at Route 66. And Coach Tom called me and said, hey, man, I didn't ask you, but you're fighting Neil Magny May 10th. I said, all right, cool. You know, so, you know, Coach Tom knows exactly what he's doing, and he's been in this game a lot longer than I have, and you know, that's how it usually works. He just calls me and says, hey man, put the Oreos down and take off running because you got a fight coming. So you know, I like it when it's like that.
Yeah, there you go. That's cool. And go ahead, Sean.
Man, what made you, like, I guess first off I want to know how long you've been in this, but my question is, what made you decide to say screw regular working, unless you already have another job on the side? But what made you decide to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to fight for a living. I'm not, you know, I don't want to you know, do all this regular stuff. I just want to fight. What gave you that inspiration?
Well, I started in 2004. You know, I had my first fight when I would have been a senior in high school. You know, I wound up dropping out like my sophomore year in high school. You know, I wasn't listening and sitting behind the desk and stuff didn't really catch my attention. And you know, fighting was always in my blood. I was fighting bullies and, you know, just getting into street fights left and right. I had a temper problem, and you know, I started learning how to do mixed martial arts, and I wound up taking it in the streets, and you know, it led to some legal trouble and me having to take care of that. But fighting was always just something I like to do. You know, not to say I like getting punched in the face or anything like that, but just the challenge and being able to get one up on somebody is always kind of fascinating. You know, having bragging rights on somebody, I guess I could say. But you know, it was just, at the time when I started, it wasn't really a career. You know, I wind up having to get in some legal trouble and sit in jail and watch mixed martial arts blow up to what it is now. And when I got out, I just needed some quick money, and I wasn't sure I wanted to be a fighter. I just needed some quick dollars, and they offered me a fight for $500, and I was like, whoa, you get paid doing this, you know? And wind up going taking that fight, and I knocked the guy out in like 2 minutes in the first round, and it just kept going from there. You know, I had some losses. I got a lot more wins, and, you know, it's just something I fell in love with. And I had a job out here where I was digging ditches here in Moriarty where I live, and you know, punching the time clock and getting up at 6:30 in the morning sucked, you know. So
yeah.
When I work with Coach Tom, you know, we show up to the gym at 11. It means I have to get up at 10. And that's awesome, you know. So I didn't want to punch the time clock and have to get up early. You know, I wanted to get up when I wanted to and just dictate my life, you know, and do what I wanted to do in life. I wasn't waking up and I wasn't happy digging ditches, and you know, whether I win or lose in the cage, I wake up and I'm happy every day with the job that I get to do. And now I'm starting to coach more. I have Aaron's daughter Santana in my class. She's a heck of a worker, and she learns really quick. And that's the next journey for myself is the coaching aspect of it. But right now I'm still competing and trying to build my class, and you know, I just enjoy what I do.
Yeah, you ever think you're going to be like a UFC champion or anything like that, or is that kind of, are you kind of, because I know the you know, the shelf date, as they say, for fighters. I mean, it's not something that guys normally go into their late 30s or 40s still doing technically. Do you think you still have a chance of like holding a title or getting into the UFC and doing something like that, or?
Well, you know, I had 3 world titles with King of the Cage, and you know,
right.
They're a great company, and they really supported the move to the UFC the first time I left, and wearing a world title is awesome. But there's so many tough guys in the division at 170 pounds or for 155 pounds for that matter in the UFC that you can't really be looking at a title. You have to look at it one fight at a time, or that's what I do. You know, I have to take it one fight at a time. If I can knock out the right people, then maybe there'll be a title fight in line. But right now it's no Magny on the horizon, and I have to go shut him down.
Cool. Another thing which is kind of weird that I mean, I've kind of been around the gym where you work out at, you know, I kind of help out around there, and I'm amazed, and I've never seen, I mean, I've grown up watching competitive sports, but I'm amazed at, you know, if somebody does lose, how well it's handled, you know, like it's, I mean, I don't know how each individual handles it, but I'm just saying it's like, yeah, I lost. Okay, let's get back to it. You know, how do you stay motivated? You know, I mean, for me personally, like, if I get my ass kicked, or if I've got my ass kicked before, you know, out in the street or whatever, like, I'm fucking devastated. Like, fuck, I got my fucking ass kicked. Oh, you know, like, how do you guys stay motivated as far as that is concerned? How do you beat that defeat?
Well, you know what, for me, man, I've been through a lot of struggles and different journeys in my life. You know, it took me a rough road to get to the UFC, to mixed martial arts. The UFC's our NFL, you know, or our Major League Baseball, and I took a long, hard struggle, different road to get to that avenue. And for me, I lost in life in a lot of areas. You know, I was addicted to methamphetamines for 4 years. You know, I went to prison. I was in and out for 4 years. And you know, I've lost at things a lot in life, and when you hit rock bottom, you just have to pick yourself up and keep moving forward. And if you lose a fight, I'm not one of those type of guys that's like, oh yeah, I want to high five him and hug him. If I lose to you, I like you even less, you know. And I want to get back to the drawing board, figure out how to beat you on the next go around. So,
right.
So that's just the way I look at it, you know. Life throws crazy curveballs, and it's how you pick yourself up.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you guys are just incredibly humble, and it's just a different energy that people who come in, you know, just especially maybe somebody who comes in off the street who wants to try to fight or just train or just to get into shape. It's just really weird, you know. As a matter of fact, yesterday was the first, you know, I started I need to lose a little weight, so I was like, I'm sick and tired of lifting weights and going to the gym and doing cardios and getting bored. Maybe I'll start boxing, you know. So I start boxing, and then yesterday it was the first time I ever sparred in my life, and I got the shit kicked out of me, and I got so frustrated with myself, and I was just like, God, and the guys that like beat my ass, like, I was like, these motherfuckers, like, after I was done, I was like, ugh, they pissed me off. But like, how do you guys? I mean, you have training, you have a team, you have training partners.
Right.
They're knocking the shit out of you. You're knocking the shit out of them. How do you guys like get to that point, or did it take you a while to get to that point where you just had to like hug them when it was over and say, "Oh, cool, that was fun, man"? I mean, is it just a different mentality with the fighter?
Well, Tom Vaughn's always tried to drill into our head and coach to us that we need to find a flow together and not really knock the crap out of each other, try to knock each other out in practice, but find a flow to where our speed and our movement's realistic, but our power isn't how we would throw in a real fight, So
Sure.
Every so often you get guys in there where their prides get the better of them, and then they're two dudes just with their heads down trying to throw bombs. But for me, man, I can train with anybody, and I hit as hard as they want to be hit. If they start cracking on me, then I'll pick it up and throw. But most of the time, I try to find that happy medium and find those flow drills like Coach Tom talks about. So try to find realistic movement and realistic speed, but just take the power out of the shots and save that for the fights. And it's really helped me out a lot. It's kept me from getting injured a lot, and it's saved my face, and it's helped my teammates get better and help myself get better.
That's cool, man. Yeah, and you guys are definitely a close knit team. You can tell, and it's a team atmosphere, and just like again being there, seeing it firsthand, it's a good energy, And
man, I haven't gotten anywhere without my fight team and without my coaching staff working behind me full force. And you know what I like about my team at Fit is they're my team and they're my fans, whether I'm winning or I'm losing. If I'm on top, they're my family. If I'm on hitting rock bottom, they're there to pick me up and just keep me moving forward. And that's what I appreciate out of my coaching staff and out of my teammates. And they're just always there, and that's the most important thing to me.
And if people out there listening, sorry, Sean, didn't mean to step on you before.
No, it's all good. No, go.
Dick.
God damn.
All right, go now.
Go, Sean.
I was just going to ask, man. Being as far as like team stuff goes, man. Do you, as things get bigger, as you get, I guess, more and more known and things like that, sometimes you get people who are literally just, I don't know how you want to call it, like leeches or hanger-ons. They, little snakes. Sometimes they're not looking out for your best interest. They might use you to backstab you, or use you to make themselves look good. I mean, just like me and Aaron are right now. But do you have like a good radar as to like not take advantage of like by people, or how do you avoiding those pesky situations where you might have somebody who's not necessarily looking out for your best interests and things like that?
Well, you just trust your gut. Gut instincts are usually right on point. Not too long ago, I had a guy coming in there telling me, I just met the guy, and he's telling me, oh, yeah, when you get some money, you need to invest it into my buddy and send him this amount of money, and that right away is a red flag, I don't even know you, but you're trying to talk to me about my finances and what I need to invest in. And it's little conversations like that that just stand out, and you learn things as you go along. Like, I'm 30 now and I'm not 18, so
right.
If people talk too big of a game, or it sounds too good to be true, more than likely it is. And you just need to trust in yourself to make the right decisions, and just trust in your gut. And the people that I have on my bandwagon are people that have been there for quite some time, and they like I said, they've supported me when I was up or when I was down. And it's like when a team wins a Super Bowl, they got all kinds of new fans and people wearing jackets and the hoodies and all that when they win the Super Bowl. But when the team's struggling in the season, you're not seeing all those fans around. And it's the same concept when you do good in life. People want to be near you and smell your cologne and do all that good stuff. But they don't want to be there struggling. They don't want to be there struggling when times are hard. They just want to be there when times are good. And that's cool. Say hi to those individuals, but at the same time keep them arm lengths away.
Have you had any of like those weird creepy dudes that are like have used knowing you yet as like a way, I don't know, maybe to get like chicks or whatever? They're like, yeah, I know Tim Means or whatever. Or maybe they're doing things and doing maybe not so cool things by throwing your name around. Like, hey, I know Tim. He said that this is cool to do. Or have you had any issues like that yet? Because there's always people like that too, who maybe aren't offering you like a monetary thing, but they're using your name because they think you're a friend or something like that.
Well, I got a guy that calls himself my cousin. It's been going around for years, picking fights, and when he gets into trouble, he'll be like, well, I'll go get Tim Means. I know who he is. And then these people call me, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, you know. So I live in a small town out here, and, you know, I got a lot of family out here. But at the same time, you know, I have cousins that pop up left and right, and I'm like, nah, man, I don't know that guy, but, you know, it is what it is, you know.
And it's
funny story, my fiance Brenda had a guy hit her up on Facebook the other day, like offering her money to, you know, he wanted to fly out here from wherever he was at. He was a foreign dude, and he wanted to pay her to, like, knock him out in the ring and put him to sleep with a rear naked choke. And, like, he's going through all this weird stuff in their messages. And I'm like,
what?
He should probably ask you what he really wants, you know, because it sounded more of like a sexual thing than he wanted to get beat up. But it's just some weird things out there that you have to be aware of. But I made her blush. She's a hard girl to make blush, but she was blushing that day.
That is hilarious. Oh my God, there's some creepers out there for sure, man. You got to keep your eye on them. Is it true? I've heard that fighters, do you guys have to carry like cards and stuff on you to say, hey, I'm a professional fighter, like
yes,
deadly weapons?
Yeah, see, that got me into trouble. I got into a bar fight out here. You know, a dude picked a fight, slapped my chrono off into my lap, and I tried to leave the bar, and he followed me out in the parking lot, and I'm like, well, you want it, you got it, you know, and I ended up beating the dude up, and I had a pro boxing license, and they hit me with an aggravated battery charge that was a 3rd-degree felony. Yeah, I had to go to court, and they dropped it down to 2 misdemeanors, but I still winded up going to prison on those charges. On just 2 misdemeanors. I don't have a felony, but I have misdemeanor charges that gave me 2 days shy of 2 years. And, you know, now I have a federal ID card, MMA ID card that I have to carry around in my wallet with me. And, yeah, if you're licensed, you can get into some serious trouble for if you punch someone in the face or whatever. But I tried to go after the whole self-defense thing, but what got me in trouble is when I knocked the dude down, I continued to hit him. And he was a big dude. I didn't want him to get back up, you know, and that's what got me in trouble. The judge said I should have walked off after I knocked him down, and I'm like, this dude's like 200 pounds heavier than me and 5 inches taller than I am, you know. I'm keeping him down, but it didn't play out in my favor. I should have just left.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. We have a message board that goes on while we run the show, and some guy goes, that guy who messaged his fiance may have been me, LOL. So, you know, people just talking shit, being idiots. But
yeah,
you know,
well, you're a perv. Just let him know.
Yeah, you're a perv, buddy. I won't call you out. Don't say you're a perv, weirdo. Is the guy from Japan by any chance? Just kidding.
I think this is like from Italy or somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, well, foreigners with a lot of
money.
Yeah, foreigners with a lot of money like that type of stuff. So, real quick to throw our plugs out there, we're going to wrap it up with you, Tim. UFC Fight Night, Saturday, May 10th. Best of luck to you, man. You can follow Tim at Means Tim, MEANS Tim, on Twitter. Is there anything else you want to say, man? Anything that you want to plug before we let you go?
Yeah, Tim Dirty Bird Means on Facebook. I want to thank my sponsors at TKOVapor.com, Damage Control, the Library Bar and Grill, and KarinaSellsHomes.com. Without these guys supporting me, man, you know, I'm just kind of running by myself, and I need a huge thank you, shout out to my team at Fit and HB. You guys are always there for me, man, and I really appreciate them. And you know, let's go get a win next Saturday.
Yeah, and I hope they listen to this. So you know, I appreciate you coming on with us, man, and we'd love to have you on again, or any of the other fighters from Fit and HB. You guys are really good gym, really nice people, close knit, and glad to have known you guys as well. So we appreciate you coming on, Tim.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Oh, and a shout out to Max Muscle and Rio Rancho. You know, those guys are also supporters. So, yes. Thanks, guys.
Very cool, man. Best of luck to you. Looking forward to seeing you fight, all right?
Yeah, appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.
Later, bro.
Absolutely.
Bye.